Hey everybody, it's Adam from IHP. We just finished up our staff meeting and we're here for another episode of JC Unplugged. It's been a while since we've been here. You've been traveling several countries in South America, and then you've been working on your next book with Human Kinetics, and then you're leading to China.
NSCA National Conference, Las Vegas as well.
Vegas.
That's where we signed the new contract for my 16th book and the follow-up book to Functional Training, which is going to be a programs book, 100 programs in there of all sorts, from transformation to performance to conditioning. And we're gearing up for China again. So it's been a busy month, and we've got several mentorships here in August as well. So.
And the Brazilians are coming in November, right?
Yes, and Rio, just pan real quick so they just pan real quick so they can see what's happening.
So one of the things, I'll let Rio pan, and I'll say a little something. You can chime in too. So we've made some big changes to the functional room. You can see there's a lot of construction going on. Power blocks, power benches. We have the JC Predator Juniors up on the wall, the SBTs. So Carlos is partnering with Andy Cerati.
Andy, come on over here.
And if any of you guys need to get in touch with Andy, Andy at IHPFit.com. He's going to kind of be spearheading this IHPX, which is going to be a big group training. But
Andy, tell them what IHPX is about.
IHPX, basically, you take a look around the group fitness industry and you don't see any periodized programs. When you come to IHP, you learn how to train professional athletes or regular people just like you would professional athletes. You take them through a program that changes each month to give them a new stressor or a new stimulus. Currently, the market doesn't have anything like that. We plan on changing that by having a complete line for conditioning, strength training, and functional performance training, all within a 45-minute, 90-day package for you. So that's what we're constructing here. The whole program is going to be signed off by the big man over here to make sure everything is copacetic with that. So stay tuned for more. This room is going to be transformed into the big IHPX Red Room. So can't wait. Going to be real excited.
Awesome. So in case you guys don't know, Andy did his internship back here in 2004, 2005. And his internship project was to help me get Jeff Munson prepared for UFC 65. So that's how far we go back, and we were training way before that. And we went to Sacramento, and Big Jeff didn't get the big win, but that was one of the most incredible camps we ever had here of an MMA fighter. So Andy was part of that. He worked here for 3 years, then went off to do his own successful group training business for about 4 years now.
4 or 5, yeah.
4 or 5 years, and then decided to come back home, and we're going to take this thing international. So what you're seeing right now is the hub of the R&D location for IHPX. So we're very excited to have Andy back, new staff, and we're going to be take this thing international. All right, let's go.
And I think if you guys got any specific questions, fire off some questions to Andy. Like I said, Andy at IHPFit.com. He'll get back to you pretty quick. All right, Carlos, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, let me see how many questions we have here. I think 8 questions, maybe?
Wow.
7 questions.
Okay.
So
I'll make one up.
There's more to follow. There's more
to not make you a liar.
We got it's 7. All right. So this has been discussed during our own in-house workshops, but I thought it might be interesting for the viewers to hear. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts and your insights about lunging over the knee.
Okay, lunging over the knee was seen as something bad because of stressors on the knee and everything like that. And you know me, I don't like the scare tactics. Don't do this because this is going to happen, especially if I see that thing being done all the time. So let's talk about where this comes from, why it works, and why it doesn't work. So just right here, we're just going to do it real quick. Everybody thinks that this is bad. Okay, this is not bad because this happens. The question is, when does it happen, how does it happen, and why does it happen, and how do you train according to what you're trying to get accomplished? Okay, this is not bad. However, in function, this doesn't lead to this. In other words, we don't ever decelerate in this position. So to do a lunge here and come back is not functional. Because the position is functional doesn't mean the movement is functional, because you're training a position, you're not training a movement. That's the problem when you train a picture, not the video. When you decelerate, you're never decelerating here. A person who's in this position here decelerates there. Okay, now look. Here I can decelerate. Why? Because I have my knee behind the fixed point all right, and towards my intended direction. So a key feature of deceleration is you have to have the knee between the fixed point and the intended direction. Here I can decelerate. Here I can't, because if the knee is above, I still can't, all right? I can't decelerate from here because the knee is between the fixed point and that direction, and I want to go here. So this is not going to teach you to decelerate because you're not in a position to decelerate. Here you are. Why? Because you're not involving the quad, you're not involving the knee, you're involving the hip. All right? So the knee going over the foot is not some sin, it's just biomechanically not effective in deceleration, and that is why we do the things we do. When we do traditional, we teach this. But we don't do the traditional lunge so much for deceleration, although from here you can decelerate much better than from there. We do the lunge more for this leg than for this one. For deceleration, we use this exercise, the reaching lunge, which puts the knee behind the foot and teaches you the change of direction using the big three amigos: hamstring, glutes, and paraspinals. So that is a compounded answer to the knee position and where it should be and why it should be where it should be during lunge. All right?
I didn't know that question was going to make you so tired. You're all winded.
That's because I'm not breathing. I want to get it all out with one breath.
All right, next question. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts, when they're necessary, when they aren't necessary, weight belts.
Weight belts. Weight belts are awesome if you need to produce more force. Okay? What does the core musculature do in order to protect the spine? Increase intra-abdominal pressure. The obliques and everything tighten up here, you increase intra-abdominal pressure, and you're able to stabilize the spine. Fantastic. So obviously a belt helps you do that. So if you are, if you need to lift heavy for whatever reason, and your back can't take it in its full form, a belt will help you. If you want to train heavier, a belt will help you. If you're in a sport where a belt is allowed, then you train with a belt because you've got to train functionally to how you're going to compete. However, if you're training heavy, so heavy that you need a belt, then you got to ask yourself, why am I training so heavy? I mean, I'm training the legs heavier than my core can take. That's why I'm assisting the belt. But I'm going to use my legs with body weight in basketball and volleyball. So at what point have I passed the point of optimal strength? Why am I squatting 300 pounds, 350 when 275 may be enough? There's the key question. One last reason to use a belt, and it has nothing to do with stabilizing the spine, is if you suffer from diastasis recti, which is a condition where the linea alba kind of opens and your intestines actually jut out, right? And that's a genetic thing and made worse by being overweight. In the case of women who are pregnant, they're distended for a prolonged period of time, and a lot of times they will open up, and you'll see that in really, really thin women. If they do leg raises or sit-ups or anything like that, you'll see a section right up here bulge out. If you do that, if you have that, a thick belt, actually taking your belt and flipping it backwards may be a good way to train heavier without making this worse, because this will worsen. If you push out and push out and push out, it will worsen. So a weight belt may be awesome for diastasis recti to keep that from progressing. So I kind of like the belts if you are trying to work and you have some issues. You know, you have back issues and stuff like that, and you still need to work heavy, a belt is good. Other than that, I wouldn't use a belt, and I would train heavy enough where a belt is not necessary. And always thinking of optimal strength. At what point have I hit the diminishing returns? Because we have the tendency to train for gym performance and not for function. It's like you want a 300-pound squat, okay, let's go for 325. Why? Why?
So could a belt provide a disservice to an athlete if they're lifting heavy in the gym, using a belt, but then on their field of play or court of play, they don't have the belt?
There's an argument there. Personally, I used to think so. Now, I don't think so, because then everybody that would wear a belt would be predisposed to injuries, and we don't see that. My point is, why are you wearing the belt? Why are you training so heavy? Because chances are, when you're playing football, you're not going to see the intra-abdominal pressures that you see during a 400-pound deadlift or a 400-pound squat. You're just not. So you can use a belt for the 400-pound squat and not use a belt when you're wrestling or when you're playing football, and the pressures that your back is going to see are nowhere near the training. The question is, why are you training so heavy where a belt is necessary? That's the question, right? So always be on the lookout for that. More is not better, especially in function.
Okay. What are some of the differences from your opinion, or in your opinion, between sprinting and long distance running or jogging, such as differences in posture, foot strike, any other arm movements and things of that nature?
Well, easy. The faster you go, the more forward lean. That's just physics. You don't have to argue, and you don't have to get involved in the discussions that I get involved in all the time. I was involved in that at the trade show floor with a sprinting coach, and I start asking him mechanical questions based on physics and numbers and logic. And when the logic stops or the logic fails them, they always answer the question with their resume. Well, I know what I'm talking about because I've trained 32 Olympians. I go, that doesn't answer the question as to why you're doing that exercise. And I said that a couple of times, and all of a sudden he went, oh shoot, I'm not going to be able to bullshit my way through this. So a lot of times they'll tell you about the studies. All right, show me the studies. I guarantee you the study doesn't talk specifically about what we're talking about. Oh, show me this. Well, I know what I'm talking about because I've trained athletes. I don't care. Simple. The faster you go, the more forward the lean. The more forward lean, the more forward the foot strike. So ball of the foot when you're really fast, heel when you're walking. Simple. Those are your two ends of the spectrum. Well, long distance. Well, it doesn't matter long distance because now they're sprinting marathons at 4-minute miles, for crying out loud. These guys are at 4:30 miles for 26 miles. All these guys are forward foot striking people. Now, can everybody do it? No, not everybody can do it for many reasons. A 140-pound person can probably run 4 foot for 26 miles. A 200-pound guy probably can't. All right, so the mechanics are going to be simple. The faster you're running, the stiffer you are. The more forward leaning you are. The more power you're producing, and the more forward the foot strike is, which has implications on ankle stiffness, knee stiffness, and hip thrusting. So your hamstrings, glute, and paraspinals are going to be needed much more at the sprinting, all right, than at jogging. Look, jogging, you may be here, foot strike, right? Let's say here. Okay? Right? When you're sprinting, shoot, it's 45 degrees at the acceleration phase. Now you tell me. I mean, when this foot hits the ground, it's going to be here. There's going to be a lot more extension of the hip, a lot more force, and of course the foot contact. So, for sprinters, and even for these guys, you want to make these guys faster? Train them like these guys. It's real simple. These guys, you have to train like these guys, all power. But if you want to make this guy faster, train them like this guy. Give them ankle stiffness, more projection here, and they will run faster without even running more. They'll run faster with less effort. So,
Can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
With the ankle stiffness, do you mean keeping it flexed throughout the cycle and then extending
No.
the plan?
No, that's the biggest mistake. You train your ankles to do this at the top and then this at the bottom. No. You take the ankle and you put it up against the wall, let's say at 45 degrees, and you do a wall right here on the wall, and you take this ankle, all right, let's say here, let me see, there, and you make that 90, and you just pump it, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90, like you're skipping rope. Like you're skipping rope. With this first metatarsal joint extended.
Okay.
That's the key thing. Because when you're skipping rope, you're here.
Mechanics-wise, though.
Mechanics-wise, it's different. As soon as you do this to the toe, the foot acts differently. So you need to make this joint extremely strong when you run. Extremely strong. If you see sprinters, their first step out of the blocks, it looks like they're actually, like their toe is the only thing in touch. And you go, wait a minute, how can the toe stay so stiff that it's propelling the entire body? And the pinky doesn't even touch the ground in the first 2 steps out of a 100-meter block start. If you look at it, that's how stiff this first metatarsal is, and then the ankle. So that is needed big time, okay, when you're sprinting. Not so much so here, because so here, even at higher speeds, you're kind of planning with the outside of the foot. a little bit more. But you can't go wrong if you do this.
You're almost wanting to keep it in one position.
You
the
want
whole
to keep it a
time
spring, yeah.
Throughout the cycle of
Bam!
hitting.
Yes, you don't want that give. Any give in the angle is equivalent to running on sand. You increase the amortization time, which is the essence of being slow. Okay, to be fast, you have to reduce amortization time. You have to, and that's where all the plyometric stuff comes in, reducing amortization. So that's where your training should be there. Okay?
Okay. Someone comes to you with a shoulder injury, what are some of your approaches for shoulder assessment?
God, I have a shoulder right now that's on fire, this one, so I'm like primed on that one. Look, there's shoulder issues that you don't know what the heck the problem is. I've had the same symptom, sleeping on it, woke up one day, arm was numb, I couldn't even lift it. I had like a week of doing this, putting my shirt back on and then this. I remember that situation. I went to Mexico 2 times for stem cells, 4K laser, the whole bit, nothing. I sat after like 2 months, I said, forget it. I started doing overhead presses, no problem. I mean, I remember asking Rio, help me with this weight up here because I could do this. I couldn't even get in here. Now I tried that approach with this one, ain't happening. So it hurts. And sometimes like I can't even get it in here, you know. So you have different shoulder issues for different reasons. And I wish I could tell you, well, if it's this, do that. If it's this, do that. The approach I take to all rehab, including my own, is what can you do without pain? And I'm finding that isometrics are the best route because when something hurts, usually it doesn't hurt through the entire range of motion. There is an angle that your body can take. With me, it's here. Here, I can take. As soon as I bend down or I do this, it's over. So what I do is I take a cable and I go out and I'm fine, and then I start here. And sometimes I can get it to increase the range of motion, but I go isometric first. Isometric has a huge impact on the way tendon and ligament fibers heal. And isometrics has a huge factor on healing and on aligning fibers. Okay? It's theoretical, but it has a huge impact. So I like the isometric. The isometric, if you're strong at this angle, has a carryover, some say 10 degrees. So you really get strong here, but there's also significant carryover here. So then I go from isometric to partials. So now I'm doing a partial of 10 degrees. Partials also have a tendency to carry over. So then your partial becomes 20 degrees and so on and so forth, with the idea of that eventually you get your full range of motion again. Let me tell you, it's been a slow process with this shoulder. And I've been in the care of 3 different people, and they don't know what it is.
So pain-free movement.
Pain-free movement is all you got. Now I'm scheduled for 3 MRIs. 2 knees, shoulder, and neck, because I'm on fire right now.
Wow.
What do you want? I mean, I know how to fix this, and I'm having problems, and they don't know. I'm going to 3 experts, and they don't know. So it could be meniscus, it could be arthritis, who knows what it is. I come up negative for lateral, collateral, medial, PCL, ACL. I come up negative for all of that. I come back positive for meniscus. But you need an MRI because you can't rule out a Baker's cyst and any other, a flop of the meniscus. Is the meniscus frayed? Is it flopping? What is it? You don't know. So MRI. And then hope to God the MRI just doesn't say what the other MRIs have said before. You got inflammation. Great. Now what?
No kidding. So I would charge you $60 for that.
So with us, it's like, pain-free, start with isometric, go to partials, and hope that helps. Whatever, if we can't take care of it like that, we send you to the MRI and orthopods, and good luck with that, because a lot of times, nothing will happen.
All right, almost at the end here. What's the hardest concept for new personal trainers to understand and practice?
Well, one thing is the nature of communication in the industry. They think, I love to train people, I love to be fit, I love to exercise, I love the gym, I should be awesome. No, you shouldn't, because you have to talk to people and communicate with people and you got to be more of a waiter, you got to be that kind of person. Waiter, bartender, that can take a negative, turn it into a positive. That's why I always say, if you want to make a great personal trainer, give me a waiter or a waitress or a bartender, and I can turn them into great personal trainers. You can't give me somebody with their masters, all right, and me turn them into a great personal trainer real quick, because most of them do not have, they are not taught, and they don't even understand interpersonal communication skills, which are more important than anything else if you are a personal trainer. See that word personal? Everybody bypasses that and just goes to trainer. The personal part of personal training is the most important. That's communication. Second, I'll give you 1, 2, 3. Second is the ability to market your product. And in order to market, what is marketing? What is marketing? Marketing is planting a motivation to do something, a call of action. You got to motivate somebody, all right? Motivate somebody, inspire somebody to a call of action, which is call, buy, mail, order, whatever. If you're the type of person that cannot inspire and motivate, and you're like this all the friggin' time, okay? Good luck. Good luck. Because somebody with a peppy attitude and up and coming, always positive, is going to annihilate you, take clients from you. So, if you're not uppity, you better get uppity. If not, you're going to attract the same people that you are. And if you're dragging ass, you're going to get drag-ass clients that are going to cancel on you and then go on to the next best thing as soon as Orange Theory opens up next to you. Okay? That's what it is. Or CrossFit or anything else. Or the insanity workouts. You know, money gets tight. I bought the insanity workouts. I'm going to be insane in my house for a little bit. You want to know why? Because you can inspire them and motivate them enough to stay with you. So there you have it. Personal skills, marketing, and you got to have that energy. If you don't, work with computers. Become a mechanic.
This is a good segue for that. This is a good segue. This is a good question here, because this goes right into the whole personal training, interpersonal skills. What bothers you most about social media and marketing of fitness?
Oh, hey, cut! That's a wrap!
Should that be a whole separate?
No, go ahead. Let's let it roll. Here we go.
I don't.
Social media.
Do you want to push back Dr. Addis to 2?
Let's
instead
start
of
with
1?
selfies.
All right, selfies. Look,
Short answer, Dad.
if you're a personal trainer and you want to get good clients, stop taking pictures in your underwear in front of a mirror, for crying out loud. If you're a customer looking for a personal trainer, if a personal trainer does that, do not, repeat, do not hire them, all right? That's just starters. That's number 1 check. How many selfies do they have of themselves in the mirror flexing? If the answer is more than 1 a year, check them out, okay?
The answer's more than 0.
1 a year you're allowed. 1 a year you're allowed, because you want to show your before and after, because you just feel insecure and you want the people to tell you how beautiful you are, what great abs you have, and whatever. 1 a year, I'll give you. 1 a year. Choose it well. Choose it well. Choose it well. You got 1 a year. Outside of that, you're in a dig me mode, and we ain't happy. So that's number 1. Number 2, social media. Everybody can be an expert. Everybody can have their own, YouTube channel, and everybody can dish out the bullshit, and there's no referee, nobody to say that's right and this is wrong. So you have ebooks. Oh, I've authored 4 books. Where are they? Oh, they're ebooks. That's not authoring. That's just writing shit, you know? So you're authored when you've written in a peer-reviewed journal, or you've taken at least one company like Human Kinetics that has said, all right, you know what? Your stuff is worth us investing resources on. Because we think you at least have a name and you know what you're talking about, so we're going to make an investment in you. We're going to put our name behind your name. So unless you're that type of author, you have an author, all right? Presentation, unless it's been like a major, conference, you haven't presented. At your local YMCA, that presentation, that doesn't count. That's a good start. It's good practice, all right? But don't tell me you're a lecturer because you presented at the women's club in your local, community store or community place, all right? So, or your library. So that's what's wrong with social media. Any jerk can be an expert, okay? That's number 1.
We'll just stop there.
Yeah, that's
Hey, Wusa.
Next time. All right, one last question. I'm going to ask a question, and you need to land the plane with the answer. Okay?
All right.
Come on. All right. So, in light of all the changes that we're doing to the functional room back here, where's the question now?
See? 2 senior moments. And he has the stuff written and he couldn't remember. Imagine me. I got like 50 million things going on.
What are your favorite methods for group class training, and what are some of the advantages for the gym? What are some of the disadvantages of group classes? So advantages, disadvantages.
Advantages of group classes, like two things. Economics, so you can afford group classes because they range between 10 and 20 bucks a class. And the social aspect, that's very awesome. And so yeah, it's a party with a lot of people. The bad side about it is that you don't have that one-on-one specialized programming and accountability in terms of, you know, the one trainer always following up on you. Did you eat right? Did you do this? Does the knee hurt? Did it respond well to that? That kind of personal touch is hard to find in group classes, especially if you have 20, 30 people in a group class. So those are advantages and disadvantages. I think our FitMove system that was tested by Florida Atlantic University in 2001 still is the best system out there going in terms of being periodizing functional training. And I think now with Andy and this setup, it's going to be, I think, an improvement to, or a supplement or an addition to FitMoves, because I think it's going to be the FitMoves format, but with a different twist, which Andy has a huge strength and conditioning component that originally was not part of the FitMoves, because FitMoves was only pure functional movements. Now Andy's added the aesthetic quality to FitMoves, and now I think when we get that one finished, that thing is going to be money. So who knows if what's coming ahead of time is monitors with your weights and everything individual. So when the person comes in, name, and now the weight and rep is there for you. So who knows if that's coming, and I'm sure it is, but that's going to be awesome. We're very excited to have that component added to the FitMoves.
All right, that wraps it up. So a couple of weeks, feel free to send me questions. Adam at IHP Fit. You can send them to Rio at IHP Fit. Love to hear from you guys. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Take care.